A lot of musicians think they're stuck because they need more time. More confidence, more clarity, more support, more proof that this is actually worth it. And maybe some of that is true, but a lot of the time, that's not actually what's going on. What's going on is that they're waiting for permission. Permission to take themselves seriously, permission to fully go for it, permission to stop hiding, permission to make the music they actually want to make, permission to be seen trying before they know how it turns out. And that kind of waiting can go on for years, because it never really feels like waiting. It feels like preparing. It feels like being smart about it. It feels like the responsible thing to do. But underneath all of that, something else is happening. You are putting off the moment when you have to fully stand behind what you want. And I think that's one of the biggest hidden reasons artists lose momentum. Not because they don't care, not because they're not talented, not because they are lazy, but because they're still waiting for something on the outside to tell them it's time. And that moment usually never comes. That's what I want to talk about today. What it actually means to wait for permission. Why artists do it, including me. And how to figure out whether your next hesitation is actually wisdom or just fear dressed up as something smarter. And before I go any further, I want to be straight with you. I am not here to give you a pep talk. I'm not going to tell you to just believe in yourself and call it a day. I spent almost 10 years working in youth welfare and education with young people who didn't fit the system, who were taught, slowly, without anyone really meaning to wait for someone else to confirm what they already knew about themselves before they acted on it. And at the same time, I've been making music for over 20 years. So when I talk about hesitation, self-doubt, and the struggle to fully commit to your own work, I'm not guessing. I've been there from both sides. Before I get into this, I made a free reflection exercise that connects directly to what I'm about to share. It's made for artists who know they want more from their music, but keep holding back in ways they don't fully understand. It's short, it's practical, and it's free. Link is in the description. Grab it now and come back to it after this. So, waiting for permission. Here's what I want you to understand first. It almost never looks like what it actually is. It doesn't look like fear. It doesn't look like avoidance. It doesn't look like someone who's given up. It looks completely reasonable. It sounds smart. It sounds like this. I just need a little more time. I'm not quite ready yet. I need a better plan before I really go for it. I need stronger songs first. I need to be more consistent before I fully commit. I need to know this can work before I give it everything. I need the people around me to believe in it more. And here's what makes this so hard to catch. Sometimes those things are actually true. Sometimes you really do need more time. Sometimes the music genuinely needs more work. Sometimes the plan really does have a hole in it. And that's exactly what makes this pattern so hard to see clearly. Because waiting for permission hides inside language that sounds totally reasonable. It sounds like patience, like strategy, like being realistic. And from the outside, and even from the inside, it can look almost the same as actually preparing. But here's the difference, and this matters. Real preparation moves you closer to the work. Waiting for permission keeps you going in circles around it. One is actual movement. The other is delay that looks like movement. And a lot of artists, if they are really honest with themselves, are more in that second place than the first. They're not preparing, they're putting off the moment when they have to fully stand behind what they want. When they have to say out loud, this is what I'm building, this is the direction I'm choosing, this is me. Not a safer version of me, not a draft of me, but me. And every extra month you spend waiting teaches you the same thing. Over and over again. What I want isn't enough yet. What I feel isn't enough yet. What I know isn't enough yet. I need more proof before I'm allowed to move. That's an expensive lesson, not just in time, in who you become. So why do artists actually do this? Why do they keep waiting even when part of them already knows what they want to do? Because going all in is scary. If you stay halfway in, you stay protected. If the project is still in progress, if the release is still not quite there, if the direction is still something you're still figuring out, then you haven't fully shown your hand yet. And that feels safer. Think about it. If you put something out that's only halfway committed and it doesn't land, you have somewhere to go. You can say it was it was the timing, the strategy, the mix, the way you rolled it out, the algorithm, the audience not being ready for it. But if you put something out that is fully yours, something you really chose, something that actually reflects what you're about, and it gets ignored, that's harder to shake off. That's not a strategy problem. That's something more personal. So waiting for permission starts to feel safer than deciding. Because as long as you're still waiting, you can't fully fail yet. It keeps you in almost. Almost releasing. Almost committing. Almost becoming the artist you keep saying you want to be. And almost is a really strange place to live. It's frustrating enough to bother you, but familiar enough to keep you there. And the longer you stay, the more normal it feels. And this is where it stops being just about productivity. It's about who you think you are. Because the longer you wait for permission, the more you start to see yourself through that lens. You become the artist who is still figuring it out. The one with potential, the one who could do something real one day. The one who keeps picturing a future version of themselves that will finally feel ready. And slowly, without meaning to, you split into two people. There's the part of you that already knows what it wants, the part with taste, the part with instinct, the part that feels the pull towards something specific, the part that, if you're really honest, already has a direction. It's just not fully said out loud yet. And then there's the part that keeps getting in the way, the careful part, the part that needs everything to be safe before it moves, the part that wants certainty before commitment, the part that keeps waiting until it feels less risky. And that split shows up in everything. In your sessions, in your releases, in the way you talk about your music, that slight pulling back, that it's something I'm working on, that way of not quite claiming it yet, because your energy is going in two directions at once. One part of you is trying to move forward, and the other part is still asking if you're allowed to. And you cannot build real momentum like that. You make progress and then you question it. You finish something and then you sit on it. You take a step and then you second guess it. And the loop just keeps going. And from the outside, it can still look like hard work, but on the inside, it feels like you're stuck in place. And if this is hitting something, if you recognize yourself in any of this, I want to stop here for a second. The exercise I mentioned at the start is built exactly for this moment. It asks you some direct, honest questions about where you are actually building from and where you might be waiting without fully realizing it. It's in the description, takes about 50 minutes, and for a lot of artists, it's the first time they've actually sat down and looked at this stuff clearly. So what do you actually do with all of this? Because I'm not going to tell you to just stop being scared, that's not helpful. Fear doesn't disappear when you get more experienced. It doesn't go away when you release more music. If anything, it gets more specific over time. The real shift is different. You stop asking for permission and you start making decisions you're willing to stand behind. That's what replaces it. Not permission, ownership. Because permission asks, am I allowed? Is it time yet? Have I done enough to deserve this? Do I have enough proof? Ownership asks something different. Is this what I actually want? Am I choosing this? Am I willing to put this out and let it be answered honestly? That last one matters, because here's the thing. No one can give you the kind of permission that would finally make this feel risk-free. That's just not how it works. Permission doesn't remove the risk, it just delays it. And the uncertainty doesn't go away with more time. The vulnerability of putting your work out there, that doesn't shrink the more you prepare. That gap between finishing something and releasing it is always going to feel exposing, because it is. So the question isn't, how do I know when I'm ready? The question is, what am I no longer willing to keep putting off? That question has something in it. That question puts the control back where it belongs. Not with the scene, not with the numbers, not with some future version of you that has it all sorted. With you, right now, exactly as things are. And I want to say something here that I think gets missed a lot. This isn't about ignoring quality. It's not about putting things out before they're done. It's not about pretending the craft doesn't matter. It's about the difference between developing your work from a real place inside you and holding it back until something outside of you gives you the green light. Because the artists who actually build something over the long run, not necessarily famous, not viral, but genuinely building something real, they didn't have it all figured out before they started. They just started making decisions from a clear enough place, early enough that things could actually add up over time. Each release built on the last. Each decision came from somewhere real, and even the quiet releases, the one that landed without much noise, still moved something forward, still meant something. That's what it looks like when a creative career actually grows. And it can only happen when you're building from a real place. Not from waiting, not from panic, not from holding out until the industry tells you you've earned it. And I want to say this clearly. You are not behind. The fact that you're still here, still making music, still taking this seriously, still thinking about it this deeply, that says something about you that no number can measure. But staying isn't enough on its own. Staying without any direction is just pain, and you deserve more than that. So before your next session, before your next release, before your next decision, I want you to write something down. Who or what are you still waiting on? A label? A bigger audience? Your local scene to get behind you, your family to take it seriously, some future version of yourself who somehow has it more together than you do right now? Because whoever that is, they're in the room with you when you make things, and they are costing you something. They are costing you speed, they are costing you honesty, they're costing you that instinctive, slightly messy creative energy that actually makes music interesting. And then ask yourself a second question. What would I do next if I just stopped waiting and picked one thing I was willing to fully stand behind? Not your whole career, not a big plan, one real move, one honest release, one direction you actually choose instead of slowly drifting into. One piece of music that sounds more like you than like your fear of being seen. That's where momentum starts. Not when fear disappears, not when everyone gets it, not when the numbers finally say you are allowed, but when what you want becomes stronger than the hesitation. And that's something only you can make happen. Okay, so the reflection exercise is in the description. It's the most useful thing I can point you to right now. It walks you through the exact questions I've been talking about today. Clearly, directly, no fluff. And if this kind of content is useful to you, subscribe. This channel is for the independent artist who's in it for the long run. Not the shortcut, not the trick, the real work of building something that actually holds up over time. In the next video, I want to talk about something that comes up for almost every independent artist I've ever spoken to, the algorithm. Because a lot of artists have a really painful relationship with it. They feel like it's working against them, like it wasn't built for what they are making, like it doesn't care and never will. I want to push back on that a little. Not to say the algorithm is fair, not to say it's easy, but to offer a different way of seeing it, as a big, complex system that you can actually start to understand. One that isn't your enemy, one that you can learn to work with without losing what makes your music yours in the process. That's the next one. I will see you there.